I have so many fun memories with Nicholas. He was born when I was 10 years old. The greatest thing was just how much fun and lighter the atmosphere was when he came in the room, from when he was little to young adulthood.
So one memory I have of Nicholas was we were all sitting around the dinner table one evening, and our daughter announced that Nicholas was going to become an uncle. And he stood up and went absolutely crazy.
And Nicholas about flew across the table, and he was so excited about it. And of course, when she announced that they were having their second child, I don't know how she stayed standing.
And that was going to be the biggest thrill, and it was the biggest thrill of his life.
But then one of his comments afterwards was that he was going to be their favorite uncle. I thought that was nice.
He was such a nice kid. He was such a good all-around athlete. He was such a pleasant person to be around. Never had to tell him to study or to do any of that stuff. He did all that stuff on his own. So I just like people to know that the abilities he had was because of his discipline.
I think that he was a fun-loving kid, and he loved everything. He loved his friends.
Nicholas and I were 1997 graduates of Lake Dallas High School. I would go to the vending machine and buy a roll of sweet tarts, and every single day he and I would share sweet tarts. He'd take half the roll, I'd take the other half, and every single day. It was probably not great for the teeth, but that was just one of the things that we did. And so every year on his birthday, I go buy a roll of sweet tarts, and I have some sweet tarts because it just reminds me of him and it makes me super happy.
Obviously, he played a lot of sports. He was really into soccer. He played a lot of club soccer.
He was a huge sports fan. He played football, basketball, track, golf, soccer.
You know, he was, at least from our perspective, you know, very, I guess you'd say, accomplished. Whether it's, you know, all the sports he played, get into University of Texas and doing really well there.
When Nicholas came in the room and when you spent time with him, he was so relaxed and easygoing that you wouldn't really even know that he had all these other things going on.
And then he got into flying early, so flying was obviously a real passion for him.
He graduated from University of Texas and loved it, and his brother and sister also went there, so that was a good follow-up for him.
And more than anything, his passions, he had so many UT, never saw him without a UT hat on, but his family was his biggest passion. In early 2003, I went to my dad, who was the superintendent of Lake Dallas ISD at the time, and I said, Dad, we absolutely must do something to honor Nicholas's name. And I said, I don't care what it is, we just have to do it. Because it's just super important to me, it's important to the people who love him, and it's important to this community. And I said, I don't care what it is. I said, maybe we could name the golf tournament after him. I said, maybe we can do a scholarship, just anything.
Well, I think because Nicholas doesn't live on, this is one way for his influence to live on, and that is if we can help a lot of other kids increase their chances of getting a good education, that will spur them to do things that maybe he could have done if he could have continued.
One of the things that we did for his endowment was we had property out on 2181. We sold it, and part of the thing that in the contract was that they would contribute $1,000 of the sale of the house when it closed to the Lake City's Education Foundation.
It's kind of overwhelming. Every single year whenever I go to the golf tournament in June, I get my annual hug from the Hibberds. I love seeing them and asking how their family is. It's just important to allow that memory to live on because he was just that important to so many people.
The Nicholas Hibberd Endowment is important because Nicholas was important, but it's a way to keep his memory. It's a way to keep his memory alive for us and to continue to honor him in a way that really supports others in the community too.
I had the honor of presenting this endowment for several years after it was first established, and I saw the looks on the faces of these graduates that were presented with this endowment and what it meant to them. And I really hope that in many, many years to come that these students realize just how many people are behind the scenes working to make this happen.
None of us are going to live forever. And we do hope that as a lasting tribute that this endowment lives forever and that it can affect kids in the future, way into the future. We hope it lives that long.
There are so many kids now who are working so hard to do well in school and to get into the university of their choice. And school is so expensive that what we really hope is that it helps other people make their dreams come true in a way that continues to honor my brother.